Welcome, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the January 19th Commissioners Meeting. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we went over our minutes from January the 5th, payable vouchers and payroll docket. Accept the motion.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes, accounts payable vouchers and the payroll dockets for January.
I second that.
All those in favor signify by aye. Okay. Jason, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Jason Cranny with Jefferson County Court Services. Tonight I am here to be able to talk to you about approval of the University of Cincinnati's needs assessment. So just for the record, I sent you guys an email earlier, but for the record, I'll go over just a quick summary. So the University of Cincinnati made a proposal to us to be able to complete a needs assessment. The basic thrust of that needs assessment is whether or not a residential facility would be appropriate for our community and what would be the best treatment and size of that facility if they do recommend it. They are also going to be looking at other gaps in services for our community, whether that be transitional housing, halfway houses, outpatient treatment, medical assistant treatment, and then make recommendations on which one of those would be appropriate for our county. Once they are done compiling sources from secondary sources and government agencies, they will hold interviews with stakeholders inside the community, and then also have focus groups to be able to get opinions from the general populace and be able to see what they think our priority should be. Then they will make the needs assessment, and then that will help us to be able to inform any future decisions that we might be having. In the proposal, they essentially came down with two price points. One was at 15,000, which was a basic needs proposal. The second, or up to 25,000. And additional conversations we had with them and the residential facility, they essentially said, if you guys want some additional services and stuff like that, we can come up with other ways to be able to get different price points in there too. So they were very flexible and being sure that we had every question that we wanted answered to be answered. And they put together a great proposal. So lastly, I just want to say that this is not me requesting to the commissioners to build a residential facility. We're not here even close to that point. This is just to be able to say, get you a permission to be able to do the needs assessment. What that need assessment actually recommend, we won't know until it's completed. So at that point, but this is just, I mean, the pre-steps to even be able to consider whether or not a residential facility would even be appropriate. Tonight, I am requesting that I have approval to be able to go forward with the needs assessment at the $25,000 price point. That money has been provided to us from a grant. It's already been earmarked. Essentially, there's no money coming from any kind of taxpayers or anything like that. So, and then that way, I don't have to come back and before you if we spend under that. That's great. We can roll those funds over into implementing our next steps, but then I don't have to come before you and say we need that additional $10,000 at that point in time. So that's it. I'll take any questions.
Are they gonna look regionally in addition to just Jefferson County?
Yes, they are. The main focus is going to be in
Sure.
Jefferson County, but they are also they made it very clear that in the studies that they've had, if you just look at just our county, that it's not realistic. The second is Switzerland County or these surrounding counties here, that there's a residential facility, they're going to be sending their people our way too. So they will be looking at that, but primarily, and then those will be the secondary sources.
Sure.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. What's your thoughts, Ron? You're heavily involved with that. And
Yeah,
your
I was
treatment
gonna
train,
say,
so
since Jason has come on and we hired Dr. Hicks to work on these assessments and lining all this up with Mr. Jim Corder and all the people coming to the meetings, I would like to see us keep moving forward.
Mhm.
We got a new jail coming, but we don't want to fill it up, so this is gonna be a way to kind of give these people a chance to rehab somewhere else.
Exactly.
So I just think it's vital, it's heavily needed
Mhm.
in our community. I think the needs assessment's gonna show that, but we gotta do the steps.
Right,
So
exactly.
I'm all for it. I'll make a, I will make.
Finally got it.
I was gonna say, I will go ahead, I forgot, I will make a motion that we go ahead and grant the 25,000 so we can get this needs assessment moving. It needs to keep moving. We don't wanna let it get stopped and stagnant.
okay, I have a motion.
I second.
I have a second. Is there any other discussion before the board? Hearing none, all those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Motion so moved.
Thank you.
Carry on,
Thank you very
sir.
much.
Thank you, Jason, for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, we have a commissioner's appointment to the, I'm gonna get this right, Southeastern Indiana Solid Waste District. And we have audaciously threw Ron Lee under the bus, so I would entertain a motion to,
So I move we appoint Commissioner Ron Lee to the Southeastern or
Southeastern.
Southeastern Indiana Solid Waste District Board for the year 2023.
Okay. And I presume you'll abstain, so I will second that motion. And all in favor, signify by aye.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have the dates and stuff.
I got them already on here. Thank
Okay.
you.
I don't need to go back there. So now we have two more appointments. This is to the Insurance Committee. And we have Chris Shelton, who wants to serve. And a good one too is Troy Hawkins with the Sheriff's Department. So I would entertain a motion to accept those two individuals.
So move we would accept the appointments for Chris Shelton and Troy Hawkins to the County Insurance Committee for 2023.
I second that.
Okay, any other discussion for the board? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Aye. So moved. Okay. Erica, I'm gonna let you up first since we got a little bit to cover there.
Okay, you guys can see in front of you that, I've given you what we're going to furthermore be considering a, right-of-way, permit manual. The Jefferson County permit manual. I reached out to Purdue University's local technical assistance program, and they have a lead research engineer, Jennifer Sharkey, that was able to meet with me and the highway department and some of the commissioners that are on the board, Mr. Little and Mr. Lee were present. And we discussed the future of the projects that will be coming to Jefferson County with broadband. When those projects are coming to the county, they're focused on rural roads. And so when you have that focus on rural roads, then there's also a possible conflict of right-of-ways. And just to make this more simple, you know, when you're dealing with the county road, you know, we might have gravel roads that they could be working on. So you want to make sure that it's safe, and those internet service providers are making sure that we have that they provide flag people out there to, you know, direct the traffic. You want to make sure that if any land of individual property owners is being disturbed, that those internet service providers are going back and they're fixing that, whether it be with sod or putting some straw down. So in this packet, there will be always a copy of, the ordinance, for this permit manual. Along with that ordinance, there will be an application that those, in this situation, it would be the internet service providers, but this packet is not exclusive to just broadband or any kind of infrastructure involving broadband. This would include any utilities going further, any projects that would have any conflict with right-of-ways in Jefferson County. Once that application is filled out, then that will be something that the Jefferson County Board of Commissioners will review. You guys will look through that. There's also in this manual terms and conditions, and those terms and conditions have been submitted to our county attorney. Like everything in the manual, he's looked this over and we've adjusted maybe just a little bit of the wording. Specifically for the build outs with broadband, since we are a Jefferson County broadband community. One of the things that the state had set in place was if they were going to name us a broadband community, they want us to look appealing to those internet service providers to come into our county. So we are unable, since we are a declared broadband ready community, we are unable to charge them a permitting fee for the projects that they will be working on. However, we are not limited to making sure that those internet service providers are bonded. So they will pay a allocated amount that you guys will agree upon with those internet service providers, and that's in the terms and conditions. That way, I've been saying they've got some skin in the game. You know, they're not gonna put, you know, if they've got a project that's over $3 million and they have to put 10% of that project into that funding into a bond, they're probably gonna make sure that they go back and fix something that didn't, or that got disturbed, because then that money will go to Jefferson County because they've.
We're about to fix whatever they.
Yes, exactly.
We use their fund.
Right. So, that is in the terms and conditions. And then there's also instructions in there as well for whoever will be, that utility, company that is doing the work. So, with that being said, I can go ahead and read the ordinance, or you guys can read the ordinance. I don't know how you want to go about
I'm
doing
in
that.
favor if you want to read it.
Okay.
I'd just like to add, this is great not only for the broadband, but for any other projects that would come here.
Yes,
And it not only gives us a recourse on our infrastructure roads, but the property owners, we can back them up too.
Yes.
So it's put back like it was before they came in. So I think it's gonna be great overall, so. With that said,
the lead research engineer, in the documentation that she was giving me, something that I thought was really key that, I would say is that this will help not only with the permitting process, but also help with communication effectively for all parties that are involved in these types of projects. And so you'll see in the terms and conditions and in the instructions that not only will you guys be notified of projects that are going on in the community, also the highway department will be notified, the sheriff's department will be notified, that utility will have to call 811. So everyone is aware of work that's being going on in a certain area, wherever that is, especially these very rural areas.
So did she give you they give you an example of this permit schedule issue? I know we don't do it for the broadband guys, but did she give you any like examples of how much per, like this one's, it's just per feet, so many dollars per feet?
Right.
I mean, I have no idea. Do we have any idea how we would set those?
Now, and that would be something that you guys could discuss amongst yourselves, or maybe, reaching out to a particular individual that I think knows a lot about, the things mentioned in that fee schedule.
Yeah, I just, so many, is it $10 a foot, or is it 50 cents a foot? Maybe that's.
Right. And
Anyway.
when we get to the application fee schedule, that is something that really is over my head.
I just didn't know if she'd given you an example from
No,
like another county.
no,
So
that
this
was
what they're doing.
definitely something that we have freedom to work with.
I think too, the way we talked, it was the scope of the project too, right? Like it was, I'll just throw it out there, 500 feet wouldn't be comparable to something that was 50,000 feet.
Sure. You wouldn't.
Kind of hence
You have a
justified
range
me,
if it's,
right,
okay, if it's 500
Not-
feet, it's this, but if it's 5,000 feet, well, it's not gonna be as much.
right, not as, yeah, something ludicrous, yeah.
Yeah, that's just.
And I could be wrong,
We
but
could be ludicrous, that's pretty easy.
I believe that the reason why this is written up the way it is that way, that service provider can fill this out how they think, but you see that there's signatures there, that's not gonna be agreed upon until you guys have gone over that,
Sure,
so.
yeah, I just wondered how we. If you could fill that out because. And maybe it's left blank like this, so we have another one that says, okay, if it's this long. Or this many feet, this is what the fees are, or if it's, could it be hard to put that all in this?
Yeah,
But it's-
Cause if you look, it says total bond.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, okay.
No, I mean, I think it's like you said, I mean, not just for broadband, but do we have any problems, Bobby, with telephone lines or?
Yeah, we're ringing right now.
Getting a little close to the road or?
Yeah, a lot of the old ones certainly are.
Right.
As they've gone through and done a lot of the road bores and updated a lot of the communication lines. A lot of those are a lot deeper now and much farther out of our way. I mean,
Yeah.
in the old days, it wasn't too uncommon and occasionally we still find them where they were plowed through. And plow right through one of our existing culverts in the roadway and you find that one when you're replacing the culvert. And then they want to build it.
Just they're lying.
But a lot of the contractors now have been a lot better. I know I was on the phone today with one, just kind of making sure that their lines were out of our way, so we didn't find them. It is our practice. We do call 811 and do all of our locates. So we certainly expect all of our contractors in our area to do the same.
so do we read it or do we
Sure.
just let
Have
you
at it.
look at? Okay, this is an ordinance approving the Jefferson County Permit Manual for Jefferson County roads. Whereas Jefferson County has prepared a Jefferson County Permit Manual for Jefferson County roads, which provides policies, procedures, fee schedules, and potential fines for the use of Jefferson County roads and right-of-ways by other units of government, contractors, utilities, and the general public. And whereas the Jefferson County Board of Commissioners have reviewed the permit manual and find it in the best interest of the citizens of Jefferson County to approve the permit manual in its entirety. And it is hereby ordained by the Jefferson County Board of Commissioners as follows. The Jefferson County Permit Manual for Jefferson County roads dated, including fees and penalties included therein are ratified and approved. The terms and conditions of the permits manual shall be published in the applicable sections of the Jefferson County Code of Ordinances as identified in the permit manual. And then when you guys decide for this to be effective, that date, all terms and conditions of any ordinance, policy, or procedure of the Jefferson County in conflict with the permit manual approved by this ordinance are hereby expressly repealed. So, you guys will have a chance to look over this manual and this packet and discuss this and then, we can move forward on the next
This will be our first reading. We can do
on the second.
Right.
February
that
2nd.
February 2nd. Bring it up again. You have anything else for us there?
Yeah, I was just gonna go over, soon you hopefully will be seen in the newspaper and on the radio stations. And then maybe in, local, coffee shops, wherever, the library, the Jefferson County Broadband Task Force. Has created a logo design contest. We don't have a logo and we'd like to have something that whenever you see something that we've had our hands on, we can say, brought to you by Jefferson County Broadband Task Force, because we meet every month and there's a lot of things going on that we're trying to push for and help our county being more inclusive for broadband. First place prize is a $200 Amazon gift card. Second place prize is a $100 Amazon gift card, and third place prize is a $50 Amazon gift card. This logo design contest will be going on until Tuesday, February 28th. It is for any student between the ages of 10 and 18. So if you have any further questions, we'll try and get this on our website and on our Facebook page. And then, like I said, just trying to spread this out throughout the community. I have copies that I'm gonna give to you guys, so take those and, you know, in anywhere where, you know, you see youth and children, they can create a logo, and then the broadband task force after the 28th will review those, and hopefully they'll have some spending money for spring break. And it just helps us out by, you know, we feel that if we can get that information to the kids, you know, you see the kids are, if my kids are at home designing a logo, I'm gonna ask, why are you designing a logo for broadband? Oh, because we have a broadband task force and this and that, and here, read the pamphlet, Mom, you know? So just trying to get information out into the community, of good positive things that we're doing. And, we've got people on our task force that are able to contribute. Madison Precision is going to be helping us with the funding for Madison Precision is going to be helping us with the funding for the donation of the prizes for the kids. So, and those are good prizes.
Sure. Do you have contacts at each of the schools, you know, that you can?
I do. We have
Okay.
contacts
Just
for most of the schools that we'll be sending this to, and yeah, hopefully it'll kind of just spread throughout the community really well to get kids involved in doing something fun while we're dealing with this weather. The other thing that I have, last but not least, is Renisha was here last time and she was talking about the outreach grant. So I just wanted to clarify that right now, anyone in the community that qualifies for the Affordable Connectivity Program, they can apply for it. It's $30 off a month, up to $30 a month off your internet, and up to $100 off of a purchase of a laptop, a computer, some device that you'll be using internet for. If you participate in any of the following programs, you automatically qualify for this program. So that includes SNAP, Medicaid, Federal Public Housing Assistance, Supplemental Security Income or SSI, WIC, Veterans Pension or Survivor Benefits, or Lifeline. So I also have some flyers that I've given to the media that's here today, and I can give to you guys. I'll put one up in the courthouse, and also we'll have this on our website as well. I emailed some to Mr. Craney that was in, so he can get those to the people that come in court services. I emailed some to the staff at the health department, and she gave me some contacts also in Hanover that I can get these flyers to, so that people understand that as we're building better broadband access in the community, there's also things to help you with the affordability of it. And I just had some numbers. I won't go through every single one of them, but just in the Canaan area, there are 101 eligible households. And this is data that the FCC supplies to us. And out of those 101 households, there's only 5 that are enrolled. Same way with the DuPont area, they have 140 eligible households and there's only 26 that are enrolled. Deputy has 254, and that's Deputy and Hanover. They have 254 eligible households, but they only have 58 that are enrolled. So you can see the difference in those numbers. I mean, obviously you're not going to get every single one that's eligible, but it does show that there's a lot of people that could be getting a little help for their internet and what they're paying for it, and they probably just don't know about it. So.
So DuPont, they have a post office, right?
Mhm.
So we could put it up there, put it up at the firehouse, and deputies,
Yeah,
post office.
And our house.
Trying to do some
yeah,
of
that's
those
a great
places
idea.
just
Thank
to.
you.
Cause I mean, you know, you're normally your response would be, oh, we'll send them an email or we'll put it on the internet. Well,
Right, yeah, no.
that's the problem.
Right, it is.
And
It's
so-
exactly the
General
problem.
in Deputy and the hardware store in DuPont will have probably as much or more traffic than
Yeah,
those
Yeah.
other 2 places mentioned.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sometimes I'm just in my
Well-
office and I don't think about those
Well,
other
you-
places, but yeah.
So,
So, and then, you know, like Renisha was saying, she's applying for the grant for the outreach of that, so that we can have somebody, you know, that can be stationed in maybe the WIC office, or maybe stationed, you know, somewhere, in an office where those people are constantly coming in, that can actually be helping them enroll and apply for that process. So, hopefully she gets approved for our whole region, because the demographics, look like we could really use some help.
Other place you might put on is Veterans Office.
I did send an email to her, but I'll reach out to her
Good.
as well.
Good.
So
I'm just
that's,
thinking, you know, this time of year, a lot of the sports leagues are starting to have signups, so I don't know, getting them to
Parks Department.
Parks Department, so they, when they have that, that they have a
Good
hundred
point.
percent.
Yeah.
The winter office and, you know, the park.
Right.
Scott should be in there.
That's all I've got.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
good work.
Mr. Phillips.
Troy's got us open meeting.
Troy, okay, scratch that. Mr. Morgan.
Thank you. Good evening. I don't have a whole lot, so it won't take very long. I left you a couple of pages on the desk there. One is the monthly, status report from Burke Engineering on the multi-hazard mitigation plan revision that's currently underway. Looks like we're at the 98% mark. And then the estimated timeline is now February 23. We'll see the first draft of that. The other is the drought monitor. Water table's rising. It's not as dry as it has been, so still not out of the woods yet, but that's kind of where we're at on that. That's a weekly update for them. Anything specific or questions for me?
So, solar LED lights.
Yeah, Jennifer gave me your message.
I know,
apologize for
you
this.
called and I
Yeah,
just
that's
hooked
okay.
it up,
I
but-
figured we'd hook up.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific example of one?
Yeah, I'll
There's-
bring one.
There's a lot out there. Are you?
Oh, yeah, I tried one.
Personal experience?
Well, you know, the park and ride out in Hanover, I was looking to put something up, so I bought one just to see how well does it work. I mean, so I've had it for a year, maybe a little bit longer, so you can, but that kind of concept. And so you can.
I've been looking at it for even personal use around my barn there at the house, and
I was pleasantly surprised, even on cloudy days.
Good.
It was,
what about duration? Does it?
it would last all
All
evening,
night?
so
Good.
I'll bring it to you, you can look
Okay.
at it and see what it's like and.
Yeah, I was telling Commissioner Lee before the meeting that ironically, and I don't know how long it's been this way, but I was driving by the Hanover property the other evening, and as I went by, I thought, well, that looked like there was a light on. So I turned around, obviously, and went back, and on that west wall, there is a flush mount security light mounted on the building. And I don't know whether I didn't notice it because it wasn't there, or if I didn't notice it because it wasn't working. But now there is a working security light on that west wall of that
That's
building
the parking lot side, right?
that's mounted to the building. So I went back and looked at the inspection before we purchased the property, and I can see the light in the inspection, but I don't know what we've done. I don't know what hidden switch has been tripped or triggered. But for some reason, the last few days, it's actually been on of an evening, so I don't know why. But it obviously has a photo cell because it's not on during the day. And if I had to go out there right now and turn it off, I don't know that I can find it. I don't know where that switch is at. So, and I don't know what's different and what created that. But the good news is, if that's the case, then we may only need
Well,
3 instead of 4.
Yeah.
So,
it's just worth a try. I mean, I understand. The other option is, yeah, it's gonna be there and it's gonna do, but
Sure, I'm good with it either way. I mean, I think, installation will fall on us, obviously, and, replacement and all that,
Sure.
where we didn't have to worry
Right.
about with the other,
I understand.
but maybe I can get some folks with some equipment that might be able to help me.
I don't
get
have a bucket truck.
my help. Well, maybe you might know somebody that does. We're getting high enough off the ground to where we can bolt that to the building or something, but it's those minor details, but we'll figure that out. Yeah, give you the information.
Yeah, well, I'm bringing the light,
Sure, that'd be great.
put it in the car, and try tomorrow.
Anything else for me?
Any word on the door out there? Or no, it's a rails, wasn't it?
I talked, well, is that, you know,
Channel.
yeah, well, no, it's not the channel, it's the rail in the ceiling, that low profile track in the ceiling.
Okay.
And it's still back ordered, but on the 9th of January, they said 3 weeks. So it's now 10 days, so we've got a few more days yet before I can call them back and complain again. I actually have it on my calendar for when I talk to them last, when I can call them again, so. But, yeah, it's been quite a while now, so it's just, you know, one of those, it's back ordered, so. But that list of things to do out there is getting smaller and smaller, and Lindsay and I talked about that today, and I still haven't got, I'm still hopeful that we'll be able to do something different with the forklift. It's just sure as the world, we decide to pull the trigger somewhere else, then the other will come through, but there's that balance of that fine line of, you know, do we go ahead and do this, or do we wait another day? I just, you know, I don't want to spend that money if we don't have to, so.
Right.
But I don't want to not have it when we need it, and so we've unloaded several pallets from several trucks and moved some things around, and with the help of the county highway, we couldn't have done that, so we're indebted to them again for that, so. But it's not been anything that's anything we couldn't do in short order, so, but if we have to do a major project out there, we'll need to do something different than what we've been doing, because we don't want to burden them either, so. Talking to Brett, the new jail project, and he's talking about the need there and sharing that resource between the two places, and which could be done either way, but again, we don't want to spend that money, and if we've got other money available to us, so I'm just trying to wait as long as we can without getting burned.
It's understood.
Anything else? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Be
you.
careful.
Come on, Bobby.
I had a feeling that was coming. I knew he had another time commitment meeting. Let him keep rolling. One of the things that Troy and I had kind of worked on, and I was exposed to it a few years ago, there's called a BAM weather service that would provide information specifically for Jefferson County. We were looking into that. That is a paid service. So there is a subscription to that, but we would basically have a meteorologist at our beck and call, so we could actually text them. We could watch other chats that were going on in the areas. We're not completely ready to move on that, but I just wanted to bring that to your all's awareness that we are looking to that. I know when I was on the Zoom meeting with him today, the first thing that I mentioned to him, he's like, well, what are you really looking for in this? I said, right here along Southern Indiana, we're always kind of right on that line, and you're always trying to balance the information. Everybody's always asking, hey, what's the weather forecast? What's going to happen today? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm watching the same 3 channels you are for the most part. And just having that extra security blanket, so to speak, to be able to have the most accurate information, because a lot of times we're shooting things up, getting ready for snow. Then the snow doesn't happen. We've lost a day's productivity. On the other side, if we could be more prepared and continue some of our construction projects versus not suiting up for the snow removal. And a lot of times we're playing 50-50. We'll get half the equipment ready, so we're ready, we can get everything rolling. But then we're jumping in icy cinder boxes and shooting things up, climbing on slick equipment and trying to keep everybody safe. So that's just one of the things that I'm looking at. I've got right of way on my list. Eric, you did a great job covering that. There are some fees I can kind of help with on the footage that Bobby and Ron were in on too when we were looking at some of those discussions. So we can kind of help as we get a little bit farther into that, but anything is a far cry better than nothing, because I had utility companies call me from all over saying, hey, we're looking, we can't find your permitting application, your permitting process. Yeah, we don't have one, but that was the first clue that we needed one, because they were requesting them because they were dealing with those everywhere else. Very good. I know that we didn't get anything from FEMA and we've not heard anything from the state. I did receive a text message from one of my friends in our CS, and we have been awarded a grant for a couple of projects that were impacted with that flood. One of those sites will be on Brushy Fork, One of those is on Little Brushy that I didn't have included in the FEMA documents. I don't remember exactly what those dollar figures were or when those were. I don't have the documentation yet in the email for the contract, but it's coming. So we'll have that hopefully here by the next meeting. So that was great news. Speaking of Brushy Fork and the impact of that flood, one of the hardest hit areas and the most challenging to fix or do any repairs on was down at the bottom of Brushy Fork at the bottom of Tate Ridge. With the way that stream bank had kind of moved, we were trying to decide whether or not it was going to be worthwhile to try to possibly even move that road just a little bit, because that small structure at the bottom of Tate Ridge isn't in the greatest shape either. All of that I turned in with the FEMA documentation. The way the state codes and everything kind of read, if you can't fix it in-house for under $250,000, it's supposed to go in the bid and all that other good stuff. And it's really challenging even getting close to that. So we are, have a survey and working on some preliminary guidelines to kind of figure out the best way to go about that and be very cost effective at the same time, and hopefully fix that one more time. I like to fix things the last time, if you guys know what I mean. We are working on with the award of community crossings. They're also working on and preparing the bid documents for that paving packet that'll be coming out. I don't have a definite timeline on that, but I know when I kind of gave them the scope of work, I was shooting for a February bid letting. So there should be some advertising coming for that here in the next 30 days for sure. I know the last time I was here, I missed the last meeting, but the one before that, we did discuss the purchase of that grader. We weren't able to come together on that price tag, and it's not urgent that we replace the grade off. So right now I'm taking that off of the table because there's no rush on it. So I appreciate you guys giving me that freedom to be able to have that conversation and work on them just a little bit harder. Still no luck on purchasing new trucks. I even kind of called a few of them and said, hey, Santa Claus left me a text message, said he left a new truck sitting for me at your truck lot, but none of them can find it. I'm not sure where that's at, but I did get a lead on a couple of used trucks that were previously, he said gas trucks. Now, I don't know if they were flatbeds that hauled the gas canisters or if they were actual gas trucks, but I'm looking into those to find out what mileage those would be and what it would cost to get those fit for our applications. The nice thing about those is I would be in those and ready to roll by this fall, even if they had put the beds and everything on those. We will have 1360 will be closed on January the 25th. That's the steel structure, the nice historic bridge. They'll be down there with a boom with a main lift so that they can finish up the inspection on that bridge. So won't impact a whole lot of traffic. There's not a lot of traffic on that. There'll be road closed ahead signs, and they're wrapping up the bridge inspections on those. I don't need any action, but I want to also let you guys know when I submitted those 3 bridges for federal aid call, it came up that there was going to be a call for bridge preservation in about the next 30 days. That call is currently open, and they wondered if they wouldn't fit better in that preservation bucket than the federal aid bucket. In my negotiations with them, I went ahead and submitted all 3 bridges for federal aid. Since they are kind of holding the purse string, so to speak, and they know what's going to be put into that bucket. I said, I don't care which bucket you pay me out of, just find me a bucket of money so we can work on these bridges. So I'm resubmitting 2 of those bridges, the one over Crooked Creek as well as one over Clifty Creek for that preservation call. The financial commitment letter and everything that we did before is the same, so it's just all a matter of just going through the process and plugging those all in. So that should be finished up. I would have finished it today, but I had a couple of items that I didn't quite have yet. I'm hoping to finish that up tomorrow. So, and then the last thing that I was going to mention that I almost forgot about was that Ron and I are going to be attending the job fair at the Venture Out Business Center. That we'll have a booth there. One of the things that I've kind of looked at and been studying with, I know Erica mentioned LTAP, and one of the things that they're working on is a CDL training program. For years, the highway department and a lot of these places that had CDL requirements for drivers could also be their own training program. I can't remember exactly what the month was, but anyway, a federal law change where they have to go through some simulation and some other things to be able to be a certified training CDL facility. So they don't have it all lined out yet, but they're getting closer. And one of the things that I think we'll be able to offer in the future is even somebody out of high school that wants to get CDLs could come to work for us and we could help them get their CDLs. We probably won't get to keep everybody because we all know CDL drivers are in high demand, but we'll keep as many as we can. So that's one of the things I'm kind of looking at, and we'll see what kind of develops after the job fair. I've got a couple applicants right now that are pretty interested in doing something, but I'm kind of holding them off until after the 27th to see if there's some additional interest in there and possibly even a better fit than what we already currently have. So with that, I know that's quite a bit. That's what happened when I missed a meeting. And you guys have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Trish. Excuse me, Trish.
I'm gonna be short and sweet.
Good.
The adoptions are going great. Christmas, like the donations and stuff was fantastic over Christmas. We actually had several donations brought in to where we could have 2 surgeries on a dog. One of our dogs that was shot in downtown Madison got his surgery. He's recovered great. He's got him a home now, thanks to the recovery. And then another dog had a cyst on his backside that needed to be removed so that he could go to the bathroom properly. And we got that done. That was all thanks to the public and their donations to help get these 2 surgeries done. Like I was telling y'all earlier, we do have a position that will be coming open soon, or a part-time position. And then just, do we know if the shelter is a 501c3?
No, I do not. Do you?
Do I know, does anybody know how I could figure that out?
Should be a state listing of 501c3, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I went to the IRS site and looked.
Heather might be able to check, but there should be, it should be listed with the state, I would think.
If I can get that, then, the Walmart distribution out of Seymour has offered up that if I am a 501c3, that they will give me all of their pallets and pallets of open dog food, cat food, kitty litter, all that, and I just have to go and get it once a month. So that'll be a great asset to the shelter as well. But I'm also gonna partner that up with House of Hope to give them some of that so that they have it to give to people. And then also with the prison for their adopt program. Because from what they were saying, there's a lot of food that'll come at once. And then the House of Hope is gonna help me with transportation of getting it back here.
Trade off.
Yeah. And then I have the girls from the prison come in now twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. And we're getting closer to getting in some training where, like me, at least getting in to be able to watch the girls and getting them back on a good schedule. So, but right now they're coming with their own guard on Mondays and Fridays.
2 days a week?
Mhm.
We used to have 4, didn't
We had them Monday through Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
we? Okay.
So I'm hoping to get back into that. That's a progress that we've accomplished in the last little bit. Any questions?
Doing a good job.
We can talk about the 501c, find out about it tomorrow when we talk.
Okay. All right. sounds
Thank
good.
you, appreciate you. Lindsay, you got anything?
I can.
No, I mean, you know, I didn't
Do it
know.
from here. The Governor's Public Health Commission, that it's been a really big talk at IDOH. So you'll probably be hearing little bits and pieces from me here and there, but we're trying to get more of an accurate picture of what that's gonna mean for our county instead of just presenting vague information to you. I would rather not do that. I would rather wait and get a nice final package instead of leaving you with questions that I still personally have and haven't had answered yet. But it does seem like it's gonna be a really big figure So juggling that and managing that would bring, we would have to think outside the box.
Strings attached?
Strings attached, but not in the normal sense of not a grant or anything.
No.
So, they would be used just like the local health maintenance fund that we have now. It's just, it comes in 2 payments, a year. It's just there. It's for us as a health department. It's not a grant, it's for us
No, I
to
just
use.
meant, do you have to do things now that they've given you?
No.
Those
I-
rumors, I don't know if there are any more than that.
No, I mean, our core services that our local health department here, we offer almost everything that they already want as a core service. There's a few things that we might have to tweak or, you know, be involved in a little bit more than what we currently are, but for the most part, we cover almost every service that they're wanting. It's more of we're already at the tip, since we're already offering so many of these services, our employees are kind of maxed out on what they're able to contribute. So with a little bit more job responsibilities, I think they might be okay, but we're talking about, you know, we've got tenured employees that have the full vacation allotment, you know, they work over here and there, we try not to, but some of them can't help it. So, you know, they're already struggling to take their time off. We'll put it that way. So that, and then the influx of money that would probably, I don't know, quadruple our budget or more. It would just, managing that would be a challenge without additional help. So yes, some strings in the planning and being able to operate properly with additional funding. But for the most part, I think it could be a real benefit to the community. It would let us partner with other public health, I don't know, organizations
Okay.
in the community. So I think it'd be a really great thing to have if it goes through, but we need to come up with a better plan. Right now, it's just kind of vague.
So we as in the state?
We
or
as in the
as
state, and
county?
then we as in the county, and then we as in the health department.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of people involved in, I don't have enough specifics to actually come up with anything yet. But if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out. I have lots of information if you want it before I have it presented to you. I can send you basically anything you could ask. They're not necessarily concrete answers.
Mhm.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Anybody from the public have anything? You all right, Ed?
Good tonight.
Good. Mr. Lee,
Don't have anything. Jason took care of all mine.
sold all your thunder.
Yep.
Mr. Brown.
So tomorrow we will have the first kind of finalized draft of the unified development ordinance. So the combination of the subdivision and zoning ordinances. So we're technical committee, people that were involved in putting it, working through it. So that'll be available tomorrow, and we're going to review that. And then it'll go out, and then we'll have a public hearing. So the first one was just, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing, have any, the first public meeting, but this one will be the official public meeting ones, not tomorrow, but once we get through this tomorrow.
Right.
So about ready to get that wrapped up. Stormwater management is still moving forward. I'm supposed to meet with the consultant next Monday to kind of get an update on where things are at. So, and I'll pass that along once we see. But I think they've done all the interviews with people in Jefferson County positions, so we'll have a lot of that kind of input and start moving forward. So,
Okay,
that's it.
thank you. We had our jail meeting today. Things are moving along nicely. We're painting the cells and the walls, continuing on that. Gas meters installed, waters to the building. They're gonna start piping some of the building as they go. They're hanging drywall, finishing it, pouring curbs and sidewalks, and it's really looking up, and one of the head of the construction was asked today, what percentage are we done? And he said at least 65%. So that's, we're in a pretty good spot this time of year. And, on the 17th, our insurance rep was out there and did an inspection, and he said everything looks good. So that's a positive. So things are, it's really looking good out there. So
Got a good tour, didn't you?
that was a good tour Saturday. Yeah, I think the Parker's Ridge and Madison Township went early at 7:30, and then we went at 8:30. We had probably about 30 people, so it was well received, and it gave the public a good idea to see what kind of facility it's gonna be when it's finished, and it will be state of the art like this room, so. Good comment and attitude on it, so.
I still think we should rent rooms out before we open it.
You can have
Well,
one.
you're in charge of transition,
You can
okay?
have one.
Contract, construction, transition. You wanna put
All
that
right.
out there, eh?
Who wants to
You
stay
get-
all night?
Occupancy
$100
permit.
All right.
Occupancy
Is it like
permit,
a-
you're in charge of that. Okay.
Walk-in parties, or is it like
Well,
stay in?
It'll get lock-in, a
It'll
new.
get block
new
party.
meeting. So,
It won't be bring your own beer, I'll tell you
I mean, solitude.
I think Oldham County charges $100 a pop for everyone, so. eh?
Yeah,
Really.
They made a-
Mhm.
they filled it up.
That'd be nice to do it.
Well, I don't think you'd wanna do it any other time.
I don't wanna do it. I'll go home. You guys can stay, I'll go home.
Well,
Okay. Anybody have any?
I think that's the sheriff's department in the jail.
Hey, there you go.
No, you didn't give him occupancy.
Well, he's got that transition plan.
Palm that off on Ben.
Well,
He's not here.
You can try that, but.
Throw him under the bus.
Yeah.
Nobody has anything else, I'd entertain that magic motion.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, everybody be careful.